today I will be talking about the importance of healing trauma and what's considered trauma, um, how you can heal from it, like some methods, and as well as what you can do, right? And why it's important overall. So I want you guys to take a second, like a couple seconds, to think about like a traumatic life event that happened into your life, right? Or something that you could say hurt you in a way. It could be from the past, like in your childhood, or it could be also something current, or as well as something that something considered small, but just a life event. Just take a couple of seconds to think about that. So I actually made a survey, and it's just about my classmates in this class, right? They answered a couple of questions on the survey, and these are the results. So I will be discussing them. So my first question was, how often do you find yourself thinking about a traumatic event in your life? And no one said always, which is the blue, there's no blue. 25% said it was often. 37.5% said sometimes, and 25% said rarely, and 12.5% said never. Next question is, do you believe that event changed you as a person? 75% said yes, 12.5% said no, and 12.5% said they're unsure. The next question was, have you ever tried healing from that event? And mostly everyone said yes, which was 62.5%, and 37.5% said no. In what ways do you think trauma can affect you? Pretty much everyone, 87.5% of people said all of the above, so physically, psychologically, and emotionally, and 12.5% said just emotionally. And as you can see over here, it says that 70% of adults experience at least one traumatic event in their life, and 1 in 13 people will develop PTSD at some point in their life. 20% of people who experience a traumatic event will develop PTSD, and the prevalence of PTSD in the United States is equal to the total population of Texas. So that is a really high amount of people, and these are just the people that acknowledge that they have had trauma in their life. And these stats are from Steven Soudard from 2026 and from the Cross River Therapy. So first, let's discuss what's considered trauma. I would say trauma, you can't really specifically say trauma is just the death of a family member, or like an accident or an incident that happened in your life. It can also be things that maybe you haven't even thought about. It could be like the way you were raised. Maybe in your household, your parents were fighting a lot. Maybe there has been an absent parent, or different things like issues with friends or bullying. Those are other types of trauma. And in the article, Bridging Nature, Nurture, and Healing Across Generations by Blarita Banushi, says trauma can impact individuals within generations because of environmental factors. So that means that, for example, if your parents had a trauma, like a habit or a bad habit, we could say, it can pass on to you, because that's kind of like the example that you have at home. So that is just an example. And so there's a lot of different type of traumas, right? Now, why is it important? Why is it important to heal from trauma, right? The model of trauma article from Siendo 2021 suggests our trauma responses can affect others. So not only us, but it can have an effect on others because of our habits and the way that we act towards others. And a Routledge trauma article from 2016 by Jennifer Gomez says mental disorders increase with trauma and decrease with healing process. So I once set an example of a traumatic event that happened in my life, which was my brother passing away. And something I noticed, like a small thing I noticed, was I became more sensitive with the small things. And for example, a movie, I could not really watch a sad movie because I will cry at the end. And before that event that happened in my life, him passing away, I wouldn't even cry with a movie that was sad. Yeah, it would be sad, but I wouldn't cry. Now, some healing methods, I'm pretty sure you have heard about going to therapy, right? Like with a psychologist or having therapy sessions. But that's not the only way that you can heal from trauma. You can also do self-care, and you can do hobbies that you enjoy. And it's important to know what you can change and what you cannot change. So the book Managing Stress and Trauma by Catherine Seifert suggests knowing the difference of things I can change and can't through the process of healing is very important, because there's things you cannot control, like other people's habits or opinions or the actions towards you, but you can control like your habits and you can control your emotions. So those are things you can work on. And it's important for us to just know how to heal from all of these things so that we don't hurt others as well, not just for our personal health, but also for others. So to conclude, I would like to encourage all of you to seek a method that would work for you, to either heal yourself or heal the relationships with others due to trauma, your habits or emotions. So that could be seeking for a new hobby, or that can also be even clinically, which seeking a psychologist or going to therapy sessions. So I really hope you guys learned something new and that you also encourage others to heal from trauma.